All right. All right. So let's get started here. I appreciate you all joining. Just want to make a quick video just to get us started on this process here. So let me see if I can close out some windows so we don't get any pop-ups. While we are doing this, where is my do not disturb button? Oh, well, hopefully the messages don't pop up. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So this is my first time actually creating a Zoom video, so bear with me. What I am going to be sharing with you all is something that I generated in ChatGPT. Uh, so, so I want to welcome everyone today. We're going to talk about a tool that can act like a 24/7 career coach, ChatGPT. And I want you to think of it as a very smart, a very fast assistant. It isn't perfect. It doesn't know your life, but it is incredible at organizing information. And to get the best results, remember the golden rule of prompting. Be specific. Don't just say, write a resume. Say, I have 10 years of experience in retail. Help me write a resume for a management position. All right. So that's what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to actually copy and paste some of these prompts inside of ChatGPT, and then you can you know, type it in as you see fit for the type of position that you're applying for. So if you've never used ChatGPT, you just go to chatgpt.com. You can sign up with an email address. It's free to use, um, but it does limit the amount of questions you can ask or information you can ask it to generate unless you create a new chat, as you see it here. You can start a new chat window, a new conversation, and then share information that way. The other thing too with ChatGPT is that you can just dictate. You don't have to type. You can click on this little microphone here, and you can use speech to text, basically. But if you want to have a verbal conversation with ChatGPT, let's say that you're practicing your interviewing skills, or you just want to have a conversation utilizing audio, then you would just click here, and you can use voice mode, and then you can have a conversation, two-way conversation with ChatGPT. Is very engaging, so I recommend that as well. So first, I'm just going to go ahead and paste in information here that we just discussed, and I type it into ChatGPT, and within seconds, milliseconds sometimes, it generates information and it gets right back to you. So here it's got my information in here. It's created a resume for me based off of what it knows about me, what I shared. So if you have a resume, you would just simply click on here, add files, and you would just go in and find your resume. You can upload it as a Word document or a PDF. You can ask it to tweak your resume, which we're going to discuss too. But so we've got that information in there. You look at the resume. If you wanted to make any adjustments, you can tell it to make adjustments where you see fit. And then you can ask it at the end to make this a PDF file or a Word document file. And then it will generate that for you and create a downloadable file for you. Let's see. So you want to transfer, the goal is to transform your old or non-existent resume into a modern ATS friendly document. So, a lot of the companies are using software to scan people's resumes and looking for keywords. So when you're applying for jobs, you want to definitely look at those keywords. If you see any unusual words that are inside of the document, whether or not you have experience with certain software that they're looking for, you want to make sure that that information is included in your resume so that it is an ATS friendly resume. If they're looking for someone, they say things like, "We're looking for someone hardworking, someone that is willing to, dedicate themselves to the company." You want to add that kind of information so and kind of get a gist of what is it that they're asking for. And basically, they're asking you to give up your personal life for us. So if you are willing to do that, then you just say, hey, I'm willing to put in the overtime. I'm willing to go, beyond what is expected of the position in order to make the company successful. So once you transform your old resume, you can just come in and type in something to ChatGPT, another prompt here, and we'll just type that in. Most companies use software to scan resumes before a human ever sees them. We're going to use ChatGPT to make sure that you pass the scan. So that is well, actually, that's just part of the text. So you don't have to type that in, but you can just say, make sure my resume passes the ATS uh, software, and then just hit enter. And understood, to maximize ATS applicant tracking system compatibility, your resume must be keyword aligned, structurally simple, metrics driven. Below is an ATS optimized version. So you can use ChatGPT for that. So let's see. Step one is the raw material dump. If you don't have a resume, tell ChatGPT, I am starting from scratch. I will give you my work history, one job at a time. Ask me questions until you have enough info to build a professional resume. So this is something that you can copy and paste. You can talk verbally to ChatGPT about this, and it will transcribe this into text information on the screen. So you want to do that. Step two would be polishing the bullets. If you already have a resume, paste your bullet points and rewrite these bullet points to be more achievement oriented. Use strong action verbs and include metrics where possible. Step three, the keyword matching. Paste a copy of the job in your resume and ask ChatGPT, based on this job description, what keywords am I missing from my resume? And it can evaluate that. I don't know if ChatGPT has access to Indeed links, but you could copy the URL and tell ChatGPT that, hey, there's this job. Here is the link to the job. Check out this job. Check out this company. Create a resume for me um, based off of what it is that they're seeking for this specific position. Um, and then that goes into the next part of module three, which is the custom cover letter. So, you don't want to stop, and I mean, you want to stop copy and pasting the same type of cover letter for every job you're applying for. You want to make sure you tailor your cover letter based off of the keywords that these companies are looking for. So you would say, I am applying for a job at blah, blah, blah. Let's say I'm applying for a sales position at Xfinity. And based on my resume, which is pasted below, this job description, which is also pasted below, write a cover letter that is professional yet warm, focusing on how my experience in sales or customer service makes me a great fit, and keep it under 300 words. And here's a pro tip. Always tell the AI, make it sound less like a robot and more like a person. Then read it out loud. And if you wouldn't say those words in person, change them up. You can reword it. So, you just type that in here, you know, help me create a cover letter for a sales job. So just to give you an idea, but you want to be more specific and tell it which sales job you're applying for, which job you're applying for, and then boom, it puts in and generates this cover letter. And then you can copy and paste it into Word, or you can tell it to make it a PDF, however, but you know, and you have it in here. And this information is always going to be saved in ChatGPT. Um, so that you can always log in later and get it. You can tweak it later. It's just always going to be there as long as you log in with your email address. Okay, so let's talk about module four, which is identifying and reaching employers. You want to move beyond the apply button and find hidden paths in order to get employment. So applying online is only half the battle. We want to find the people behind the screen. So, in order to find companies, we can ask ChatGPT a prompt, and it will look something like this. I live in Fresno, Texas, and have experience in sales or healthcare, whatever, warehousing. Give me a list of 15 companies in this area that might have higher roles for people like me. And then you put that in the chat GPT. So we can just say, let's just check this in here, Fresno, Texas, and we'll say um, sales. Well, let's be more specific. If you wanted to do, let's say, electronic sales or something, or so to say, software sales, which is a real thing. Software sales. Give me 50 companies in this entire role. Okay, so we type that in. ChatGPT was going to go searching all over the internet and just understand what ChatGPT. ChatGPT goes out and reads everything across the internet. If it hasn't read it, you can tell it, go to this site, read it, become an expert on this information. And ChatGPT retains that and gets smarter and smarter each second. I mean, literally each second. So the more stuff people are typing in and sharing, the more it's searching the internet, it's becoming a genius. It is a genius. And it doesn't necessarily update every day. So you have to sometimes tell it, get the latest information from it. So here it is telling me Houston IT developers. It's got a hyperlink here. Here's some companies. So I've got these companies here. Now what do I do with it? So the cold outreach. Now, once you find a hiring manager on LinkedIn, you can ask ChatGPT to write a 3 sentence LinkedIn message to a hiring manager. And I want to express interest in the sales role that's mentioned in my background and the skill, and keep it low pressure. So you tell that to ChatGPT in a prompt, and then ChatGPT will put that in here. So we just hit that, boom. Oh, I should have showed you here. Chat GPT's got a little map or whatever. It gives you some tips. So this is what the work is. When I said, you got to be willing to put in the hard work, this is the hard work. This is what you have to do, is be engaged, stay on top of it. I would say that 95% of people that are applying for jobs, if not higher, aren't following up. They're just click and apply, boom, and I've done it. I'm guilty of it. Where I was like, I'm not as really hungry for this, or I'm not as confident I'm gonna get this job. So I'm just hitting apply everything that Indeed says I should apply for. Unless it's something I say, oh man, I really want to work here. Now I'm gonna put in some extra effort, roll up my sleeves. And so you definitely want to do that as well. Now, the interviewing prep. So if you have an interview scheduled with the company, you can put in a prompt. I have an interview for sales, software sales. Based on the job description, what are the top 5 questions they will likely ask me, and how should I answer them using my specific experience? And so you just type that in here, boom, ChatGPT will generate information back. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini or Copilot, which is Microsoft. Gemini is Google's AI. So really, you can use any of them. They're pretty much all identical. Or you can try all three if you until you decide which one you prefer to use. All right. So then, um, many people will feel ashamed or behind if they feel that they've been out of the workforce. So you want to remember that you have experience, you have value, and that's what companies are looking for. You can deal with the fact that you had gaps in your employment or on all that stuff later. But this is the first thing I want you to do, is to get engaged with AI, utilizing AI. And you can even type in here, I want you to be my career coach and help me land a job. You can say great job or a new career, and then you tell it, I have no experience. How do I do this? So, I have no experience. How do I apply for this job? So, we do that, hit enter, boom. Understood. I will operate as a career coach with a single objective: help you secure an offer. Given your context, active job search background, blah, blah, blah. So again, it's putting all this information in here. It's going to save it for you. As I said, you want to engage, you can say, hey, I need your help to prepare for an interview. Can we interact and you be the hiring manager and I be the employee?
Absolutely, we can definitely do that. I'll simulate the role of the hiring manager, and you can respond as the candidate. You can let me know the specific role you're interviewing for, and we can jump right into some mock questions. Just let me know when you're ready.
All right, buddy. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm excited to help you with your interview prep. Whenever you're ready, we can dive right into some mock interview questions and practice your responses. Let me know the role details, and we'll get started.
So that's if you want to use audio. Of course, you can do this on your phone with the ChatGPT app if you want to download that, or the other two companies I mentioned if you want to download the app. Once you have that in place, then we can talk about optimizing your online presence. So, like your LinkedIn profile. I've had a number of employers and recruiters contact me through LinkedIn because they saw my profile on LinkedIn. So, there's a way to optimize it. I think there's a lot of high paying, good jobs where the recruiters are looking for staff and they're not posting these jobs online necessarily. And that's the fastest way of getting your foot in the door because these people work for that company. So, we could talk about that. I think I'll make a module about optimizing for um, for LinkedIn, for an Indeed profile, as well as others. All right, so go ahead and get started with that, and then we'll talk soon. If you have any questions, anything is confusing you, just feel free to reach out to me. All right, take care. Bye bye.